Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Gemini, Sun, Moon and Descendant for the month of September. Hope you're all well. This is going to be shorter than the main monthly reading because it's only covering a 2-week period from the 15th to the 30th of September. Although remember the time is fluid, so it can wobble around a little bit. I'm going to try not to pull any clarifiers, but I am open to breaking my own rules if necessary. So we're using the Lost Forest for you today. Let's see what's going on with you, Gemini. I have 3 cards for Gemini, please. Oh, here's the first one. Got the 5 of Pentacles. Oop, the Moon. And the 4 of Swords, yeah. So, at the bottom of the deck we've got the Queen of Wands. She's the most active of the queens. Pretty feisty, actually relates to Aries. And that's interesting because Mars is in retrograde at the moment. And it's possible that whilst you may be willing to move forwards and do things, you feel like you're being stopped and restricted a little bit. Now this is showing up across the signs at the moment, and the idea of going within and having a look and seeing what's bubbling around inside is coming up very, very strongly for all of them as well. Like obviously I'm referring to shadow work, and it looks to me very much like you both appreciate the restrictions and the frustrations and things that are currently at play with the Mars retrograde, and that's going to be, you know, ongoing until like mid-November, so be aware of that. Patience is the order of the day, but in your current energy we've got the 5 of Pentacles, which speaks to lack in some way, right? But I'll come back to that. We've got the Moon, which is the card of Cancer, and we also have the 4 of Swords. Now I don't feel like you are necessarily sitting in an energy of lack or poverty of any description. I don't think that that's quite right for you. It feels like you are introspecting and introspecting hard at the moment, because the other thing that, well, the thing that primarily the 5 of Pentacles talks to me about is where your needs are not being met in some sort of way, right? Some way that they were before, you know, now they are not. But where the reason that I say it's not quite right is because I don't feel like strictly your needs are not being met right now at this current moment. I think that you are introspecting on a period where they were not met, right? Or looking at how you can best rectify in your current environment anything that you feel isn't meeting your needs at the moment, right? The Moon card speaks about the non-conscious to me, the subconscious. It talks about the shadow, it talks about, you know, all the stuff that's going on beneath. And I can't quite remember, I can't remember at all actually, in fact, what I spoke about in the monthly reading for you, and that's not uncommon. I forget what I've said as soon as I say it quite often. But I have a vague notion that there was a real leaning towards high vibration for you, you know, just cutting loose of an awful lot of things. And it's funny, when I sat to do your meditation, the only thing that came through was just light, just bright light. And I was like, oh, okay, no words, no pictures, no nothing, like no, none of that. Bright light. And when I opened my eyes again, I had an overwhelming urge to just get my singing bowl out here, and this one is it's third chakra aligned, third eye chakra aligned, and it sang so fucking loudly I can't even tell you. Like, singing bowls don't just sing all the time, you know, the energy's got to be right, and your energy is so high that it just went straight into like whoa, whoa, whoa. I was like, wow, okay. So this feels like a process of introspection to check that there is nowhere where your needs are not being met. And I feel like it's because you're actually in a really, really good place at the moment, and you're actively looking both within to see if there's anything that needs doing, you know, with your shadow. See if there's anything in your 3D environment that needs adjustment in some sort of way. And then we've got this Four of Swords, which is my meditation card, and you do feel meditative, not just, you know, for 5 minutes a day. Like it feels, your energy feels really quite meditative now, you know, slightly detached, which is a good place to be, comfortable in your own skin, and certainly comfortable and okay enough to be going to look to see if any of this is relevant. This is fantastic stuff. And it's like you're not working against Aries at the moment, right? The Mars is in retrograde. Everybody is trying to be active and do things, and certainly this is going to fuck the fire signs over. It's fucking Capricorn over quite badly as well. But for you, it's you're taking the time, right? You don't actually want any action right now. What you're doing is kind of drawing back, and in a very peaceful place. Actually, you're using the energy in the right way. You know, like, I know I can't do any particular movement in any direction, but I don't really want to at the moment. I actually do want to just stand still and go within and see what's going on with me. That's fantastic. Let's have a look and see what's coming up for you, Cancer. Coming towards Cancer. Fuck, just like a bazillion cards come out here, right? Six of Wands, King of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. Show us all, what was that there? The World card. You're doing some pretty spectacular stuff at the moment, Gemini. Strength card. Fucking right. Let's get all of these back in. This is one of those situations where it looks like there's not really very much going on, but there's a real empowerment of you occurring at the moment. There's a real strengthening of your position. You are becoming strapped to your identity in the way that you will need to be to ride out the, frankly, the shit show that the next couple of months is going to be. And this is really, really positive. This feels like the most positive reading I've done by a fucking country mile for the mid-months, actually. What's coming towards Gemini, please? We've got the Nine of Cups. And the Page of Cups. More cards for Gemini, please. And the Four of Wands. That's incredible. Like, this is just bearing out exactly what I felt in the meditation and exactly what I'm feeling coming through here. We've got the Empress at the bottom of the deck, which is either Taurus or Libra energy, but it's about the creation of new things. It's bringing new things into the world. It's creative, fertile, abundant energy, and there's something that you are birthing into the world. And Gemini, I think it's a new version of you that perhaps the world hasn't seen before. And this is amazing, because what's coming towards you is the Nine of Cups and the Page of Cups and the Four of Wands. Now, nines for me always talk about the individual, right? We're approaching completion. But where 10 is kind of coming together with someone else, usually I feel like it's kind of expansive energy, but it's also, you know, the culmination of the suit. The nines is a step back from that. We are approaching completion because we are working on ourselves, right? We understand that we have responsibility for making ourselves happy, us and no one else. We understand what makes us happy. We understand what drives us. We understand what we want from life moving forwards. And that's all encapsulated here in this card for you. It's a continuation of the peace that you're feeling, but this feels like you're starting to sharpen up the edges of what it is that you want from your life moving forwards, right? And we've got this Page of Cups. Now, this Pisces energy for me, and it talks about forgiveness and compassion. It can sometimes talk about small messages of love, so you can sometimes see apologies and stuff like this. But actually, looking in the Lost Forest, we've got here a seal that is just diving into the depths, and it feels like you are so comfortable in your internal emotional space that deep diving, where it terrifies other signs, is not something that you have a problem with at all. You know, it's come out directly underneath the moon, right? More of what you're doing is what you can expect, but peace and contentment and There's a sense of you being really, really comfortable in your own skin at the moment, Gemini, and for whatever reason that is, there's been an awful lot of processing going on, and this high vibration is just like, oh, it's singing. It's making my bowl sing. And then we've got the Four of Wands. Now, this is a card of I think it's Aries, actually. But it's about creating a new foundation for yourself. And I think that is what you are doing at the moment, Gemini. I think that you have cut out all of the toxicity, all of the shit. And you've been through quite a bit of shit in the last couple of years, Geminis. That's absolutely true. And for a while, you hung on to some of it. But bit by bit, you've just released it. You've cut it adrift. And now what you are left with is something actually really bright and shining and intangible, right? And powered up, actually, to some degree, like, well, not to some degree, to an incredible degree. It's just shimmering at the moment. But you are a spirit living a human experience, and so to that end, you still have to be down here a little bit. But I feel like you are constructing what your life looks like moving forwards, and September's a really important month for that going forwards. I'm so excited for you. This is incredible. So let's have a look and see if we can get you some advice, although really it seems like a rather redundant idea, because you really do have this in hand. I have some advice for Gemini. We have Seven of Wands. This is really interesting, because as soon as these cards started landing, I knew that this wasn't about you, this was about other people. You have outgrown, Gemini, an awful lot of people around you. I don't know if you're aware of it. Some of you may have had a creeping feeling that this was the case, and maybe had a bit of a, bit of doubt or a bit of guilt associated with it. No, it's time to move beyond something. Let those people be where they are. Let them honour their own journey, but this is not for you anymore. You are moving away from this. I say this because what we've got here is the Five of Swords with the Seven of Wands. We've also got the Ten of Swords and the Nine of Swords here. Now, this isn't really you particularly, right? We've got the end of a cycle for you indicated here, but this energy seems to be speaking more as advice to you to be aware of other people being in this place, right? And specifically because not everybody can come with you where you're going, Gemini. In fact, most people can't come with you where you're going. They need to be left behind. They need to stay here to do their own work, right? And for some of you, that is going to involve kind of moving away from people that you have possibly at some point held very, very dear to your heart, but they are stuck where you are not. They've got their feet in the mud where you are ascending, and you kind of need to let them go. And don't fight it, right? Let it happen. People come in and they come out, and that's all cool. And you're managing this level of detachment as it is already, right? So this is just another step along that road, because something is ending. Relationships are ending, and I don't necessarily mean, like your significant other. I mean a lot of people. You might have found that a lot of people have exited your life this year anyway, certainly to around about the beginning of the year. But this feels like another wave of it for you particularly, and it's because you've just done this sudden exponential leap up in the last month or so, and you've just been leaving lots and lots of stuff behind, and that necessarily is going to involve leaving some people behind. The key is not to fight it, and the key is not to get too guilt-ridden and overthink it or any of this. Is just let it happen, because there's space being cleared here, right? I feel like you specifically, Gemini, are going to be calling in a new vibe tribe, if you will. I don't know where that came from, but a lot of people that are matching your resonance, where some of the people that have been surrounding you for some of this year have not. This is absolutely intriguing. I'm really fascinated by this. So if you haven't seen the monthly reading for September, it should just be about here. Now that's maybe worth a look, because there's an extended to that as well, so there's a good hour and a half of like Gemini tarot stuff there. Wow, really proud of you, Gemini. This is cool. So you take care, and I will see you soon.